But here is something that is a very real problem, and it's a very serious story. A Texas woman has been arrested for threatening to kill Judge Tanya Chutkan, as well as Democratic Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, in addition to threatening to kill the LGBTQ community and also threatening to kill many others. Here is what happened. You have a woman from the city of Alvin, Texas, by the name of Abigail Jo Shry. According to the indictment against her, the arrest, Miss Shry made a phone call, left a voicemail for Judge Chutkan, where she basically just laid out what will happen to her if she continues this process of presiding over the trial of Donald J. Trump. I'm going to read you this. This is from a local news station, WUSA 9. Here's what they wrote. According to the complaint, Shry admitted to Department of Homeland Security investigators she left the voicemail, which began, quote, "Hey, you stupid slave," followed by a racial epithet, and then proceeded to threaten to kill anyone who went after Trump. That list included Chutkan, Lee, all Democrats in Washington, D.C., and all people in the LGBTQ community, investigators wrote. She then said, quote, "You are in our sights. We want to kill you," Shry allegedly said at one point, later adding, "If Trump doesn't get elected in 2024, we are coming to kill you, so tread lightly," followed by an expletive. That's about as clear-cut as you can get. This is what happens when Donald Trump's rhetoric, when his attacks against these individuals who absolutely have the right and the authority to muzzle him, this is what happens when that's not reined in. And I know, obviously, there's freedom of speech issues. Don't get me wrong, I totally get that. But at the same time, we're dealing with deeply disturbed individuals out there. That is why Donald Trump does what he does. That's why he phrases things the way he phrases them. Because if you look at the people specifically mentioned, Judge Chutkan, Sheila Jackson Lee, those are the two mentioned by name. And it's fairly obvious what these two women have in common. Sheila Jackson Lee, by the way, is not even necessarily going after Donald Trump. She's not a part of it, so why bring her into it? Why bring the LGBTQ community into it? That doesn't make any sense either. All Democrats in Washington, D.C.? This woman, based on what she admitted to in this phone call, sounded like she was just about to go on a massive killing spree. And it's because of Donald Trump's rhetoric. It is because of the things he says. And he says them, and he phrases them the way that he phrases them, because he knows that there's people like this out there. He knows that his base is made up of people like this. And that's why this is so dangerous. I talked about it on this program yesterday, about the threats coming in against Judge Chutkan, against Fani Willis, against the grand jurors. They've been doxxed by these Trump supporters. And I had mentioned yesterday, obviously before this report had come out, hopefully it just stays rhetoric. Hopefully it does not escalate into action. This is a woman who was kind of caught between the rhetoric and the action, telling these people explicitly, I am going to do this if you continue with what you're doing. Now, of course, this individual is now in custody, and she needs to stay there. She needs psychiatric help. Okay, this is not just it's a criminal, lock him away and throw away the key. These people need help. So you cannot just lock them up and forget about them. You've got to deprogram, right? You've got to get in. You got to find out what's going on, what went wrong to make her do this. Because if you do not solve the root of the problem, then this kind of behavior with these individuals will not subside after some time in jail. They will emerge with the same types of thoughts, with the same kinds of problems. The problems are what have to be addressed. And our justice system, unfortunately, does not do a very good job of addressing those kinds of issues.